Good evening, everybody. Hope you all have had a wonderful day. I would like to welcome you all to Baking with Sharon. And so glad to have you all on tonight. And tonight we will be making a banana nut bread and a dump cake. The banana nut bread, of course, is going to be made from scratch. And the dump cake are some of the old-time favorites that you see in the grocery store every day. It's one of my favorite recipes. I learned how to make this from my dad. So tune in with us on this evening. But just a few things. I have created a Baking with Sharon page. If you could go out there and like that page and share. That way it'll be easier for you to find the videos and to find the recipes. So please go out and like the page, Baking with Sharon. And I would really appreciate that. Hello, Sheila. Hi, Bridget. And this week, if you have not had a chance to go out and vote, make sure you go out and vote. I still need to go vote. Hopefully, I'll get that done on this week before November 6th. I do want you early vote before November 6th. So if you haven't had a chance to go out and vote, make sure you vote. And if you have voted, kudos for getting yours done a lot earlier than what I have. And we have had a lot of things that are happening in the news on this week about the shootings and all those crazy things. Just pray for America. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the banana nut bread. There are some things that we need to prepare ahead of time for the banana nut bread. And the first thing we want to do is to prepare our pan. This is one of the older baking pan that I got from my mom for baking bread. So we're going to spray the pan with Pam baking. If you have not used this before, this is a wonderful item to use. I'm going to go ahead and spray it. It smells so good. I think I mentioned before, it smells like you can really eat the spray that comes out. I'm pretty sure you can't do that, but it smells so good. It smells wonderful. So I sprayed a little bit in there. I'm going to go ahead and make sure the entire pan is covered with the Pam. That way when we finish baking the banana nut bread, it'll flow out easily. So I think I want to add just a little bit more Pam in here. Give it a nice coating of the spray. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Bridget again. All right, so we're going to go ahead and set the pan aside. Make sure you get the corners of the pan as well. So we're going to set that aside. Whoop. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to sift the flour, and then we're going to put that aside as well. And as I mentioned in my earlier episodes, if you don't have a regular sifter, this colander works really well as a sifter. I'm going to go ahead and sift the flour. All right, takes no time. It's all done. I'm going to set the flour aside. All right, and the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to mash the bananas. And with banana nut bread, you need to use ripe bananas. And unfortunately, this week, I bought the bananas earlier in the week so they can ripen throughout the week. And I was gone for a couple days, and when I got back, I noticed that the bananas weren't really ripe like I wanted them to be. So I pulled out the old trick. You put the bananas in a paper bag, and it helps ripen them a little bit quicker. Excuse me. So this is a really big paper bag. If you have a small one, that'll do too, but this is the only brown paper bag that I had. So, and the bananas are more ripened now. And you need at least 4 bananas. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in the bowl, and I'm going to mash these up with my hand. It's nothing like squishing bananas through your fingers, huh? Sounds like fun. So we'll see in a minute how it feels. I'm pretty sure it's going to feel a little bit yucky. So we got the bananas peeled here. I'm going to do one more. And we'll set this other one aside. So I'm going to mash these up with my hands. They're still not as ripe as I would like for them to be. I think they'll be okay though. I keep losing my food there. Hi, Teresa. So they're mushing up pretty good here. This is the quickest way to do it. You probably could have used one of those potato mashers, what you use to mash potatoes. But this is working really well. Just make sure you mash them up really good. All right, so I'm going to wash my hands and we're going to set the bananas aside. All right. Okay, so we're going to set these aside as well. We'll come back to them. Okay, now I also want to go ahead and sift my eggs. Not sift my eggs, what you call this thing? Yeah, whisk my eggs. And your eggs need to be at room temperature, so make sure you take your eggs out maybe a couple hours before you start to bake the banana nut bread, or you can take them out that morning, but the eggs need to be room temperature. Most of the time when you bake, the eggs are cold, or you can take it right out of the refrigerator. But when you use warm eggs, it lengthens the baking time. But you also get a great result by using room temperature eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and whisk the eggs. Hi, Missy. All right, so the eggs are whisked. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside as well. Excuse me. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and get started with the batter for the banana nut bread. And the first thing we're going to add is unsalted butter. We need a ½ cup of unsalted butter. And that is 1 stick of margarine. Of butter, not 1 stick of butter. Margarine. So I said a ½ cup of butter, then I said 1 stick of margarine, but it's 1 stick of butter. Then we're going to add in 1½ cup of sugar. And this is actually a cup, so I'm just going to add a half of this for the 1½ cups of sugar. I'm going to whisk this together. I'm going to use the electric mixer. Hi, Yolanda. Oh. And it has to be plugged in order for it to work. I can get that in quickly here. All right. Just whisk that. All right, so we have that all whisked together. Then the next thing that we're going to add to this, we're going to add in the egg mixture. The 2 eggs that we whisked earlier, we're going to add that in. Also, a ½ teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. That's about good. We're going to whisk this together. Hi, Trina. Hi, Barbara. light and fluffy. All right, see how nice, how light and fluffy that is? Okay, now we're going to add in our mushed bananas. And add that into the mix. Gonna blend that in. Hi, Tracy. All right, so we got that mixed pretty good. All right, now we're going to add in the flour. And the flour was 1 3/4 cups of flour. And I always use the self-rising flour. So if you ever use all-purpose flour, make sure you add the baking soda and salt. So I'm just going to add this flour in. Now I'm not going to mix that with the mix. I'm going to actually fold it in with a spoon. Excuse me. So I'm going to fold it in with the spoon. Just make sure it's mixed really well. And the mixture is going to look a little lumpy. And that's the way it's supposed to look, so it's okay. Hi, Lee. Hi, Sister May. All right, so we're almost done. We're going to add the rest of the flour in. Then we're going to add the walnuts. All right, we're going to go ahead and add the walnuts to the mixture here. And I'll just let you see it before I do that so you can see what it looks like. So this is what the mixture is going to look like. It's not really smooth. It is a little lumpy and it doesn't look like it's all together, but that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to look. So I'm going to go ahead and add the walnuts. And this is about a cup of walnuts. You can't add like a half a cup, but I love walnuts. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a cup of the walnuts. I'll try and enjoy it as much as I can with these braces on, but we're going to make it work. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Janice. Yes, Nicole, this is banana nut bread. Okay, I need to go ahead and preheat my oven. I forgot to do that, so let me go ahead and do that. And I preheat my oven to 400. Remember, your oven may be a little different than what mine is. I'm going to go ahead and pour this in the pan. I'll use the scooper here. Hi, Lionel. Let's go ahead and do that. And this smells really good. So make sure that it's evened out. And sometimes whenever you put the batter in your pans, you can hit it against the counter to make sure all of the those air pockets are closed in. Okay, so the banana nut bread, we have the batter in the pan. And I'm just going to hit it just a little bit to make sure all the air pockets are in. And I'm going to set it aside probably about 3 minutes to give the oven an opportunity to warm up because I forgot to turn it on earlier. All right, so we're going to set it aside just for a few minutes. I'm going to move this over. And the next dessert that we're going to bake on tonight is dump cake. And I saw that my cousin Lee is on. And this is one of his favorite dump cakes, one of his favorite desserts. I would make it for family events. And this is one of his favorites. So, Lee, tune in. Make sure you pay attention. All right, so I'm going to get another pan. Excuse me. Excuse me a minute while I take a drink of tea here. See, I have this little cough going on. And tonight I'm just drinking some regular tea, just some regular Lipton tea. It's good for you. Especially when you have a sore throat, just get you a nice cup of hot Lipton tea. All right. All right, so we're going to get started with the dump cake. And with the dump cake, you need 2 sticks of margarine, chilled margarine. You don't want your margarine to be room temperature because you're going to have to dice it into little pieces to line the bottom of the pan. Let me get a knife here. All right, can y'all see that okay? Let's see if I can turn it down just a little bit. Maybe you can see a little bit better. There we go. I'll just put that there for now. All right, so we're going to dice our first stick of butter. And they don't have to be perfect sizes. All right, so the first stick of butter, I'm going to line the bottom of the baking dish. And just layer it at the bottom. And as I mentioned before, this is a recipe that I learned from my dad. I would watch my dad make this for family events. And it tastes really good by itself or with some vanilla ice cream. It's like a cobbler. And it's wonderful with vanilla ice cream. So you want to line the bottom of your pan with the butter. And then you're going to use Duncan Hines Classic Yellow Cake Mix. You're not going to bake the cake. You're going to use the dry mix. And you're just going to sprinkle it on the bottom of the pan. And every now and then I will sift the cake mix because it is a little lumpy, but it's all good. You can do it without it. We'll spread it out evenly in a little bit. So just make sure you spread it out. And you can pick up the bigger clumps and sort of break those apart. All right, so you have your layer of cake mix. Now we're going to layer on top of the cake mix, we're going to layer it with the cherry pie filling. And this is the country cherry Comstock. This is the favorite one for myself. I have tried to use some other brands with the pie filling, but my favorite is the Comstock. To me, it just has, you know, a more flavorful taste. So we're going to go ahead and pour this in. Let me get another spoon. Actually, I'll use this. Just pour it to the bottom, sort of spread it out. And this is a 14-ounce can of the cherry pie filling. And sort of spread it out just a little. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the banana nut bread in the oven. I'm going to put it in the oven for an hour. And set the timer. All right. All right, so we have our cherries, the bottom. The next layer are the crushed pineapples. And this is the Dole crushed pineapples. And you want to drain some of the liquid off. And I just pour that, hold my hand over, just let it drain just a little bit. So now we're going to pour on the crushed pineapples over the cherries. And spread that out. This is a lot of fun to make. It's real easy. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Okay, so on top of the pineapples, we're going to add some pecans. I'm just going to spread those out. All right. So it's time for our second box. And please forgive me when I go to the grocery store. You know, I pick up some things and I don't really look at them. When I picked up the yellow cake mix, I thought I picked up 2 of them, but I picked up the butter golden. It would still work. It still tastes good. I've used it before, so the butter golden is okay as well. So I'm going to spread that on top of the pecans. So spread it out with your hands. Again, you can sort of break loose some of those bigger lumps of cake mix that's stuck together. All right. Okay, now I need to dice up the second stick of butter. I'm going to trade places here for a little bit, see if I can do it that way so you can see what I'm doing. Oh, you can't see it that way. How about that? Yeah. And it's the same process as before. We're going to dice the butter and we're going to layer it on top of the cake mix. And this usually takes about 35 to 45 minutes to bake. And it's good fresh out of the oven. I've eaten it cold before. And I just threw it to the refrigerator. Got me a spoon. And, ooh, I almost cut my finger. And really enjoyed it there. All right, so we're going to layer the butter on top. And you can tell that this is a really rich dessert because it has a lot of butter and a lot of other good ingredients in it. All right, we're going to take the remaining of our pecans and we're going to layer on top of the butter. All right, sort of clean that up a little bit. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like before you put it in the oven. Again, it's very easy. All you're doing is layering the butter. You're going to layer the yellow cake mix, then layer the cherry pie filling, the crushed pineapples, pecans, another layer of yellow cake mix, another layer of butter, and then the final layer of the pecans. And I have made this like an evening before an event. I'll make it at night, and I will put foil over it and store it in the refrigerator and get up the next morning and just pop it in the oven. So it's easy to do it that way, especially when you're trying to get things done ahead of time. So we have a little while before the banana nut bread is ready, and I'm going to go ahead and put the dump cake in the oven as well, and then I will have to come back on to show you what the finished products look like, because I don't want to hold you for an hour until I get it, in a more professional mode where I can come back and piece everything together. So then I come back on and I'll post some pictures of the finished products. Again, please go out to like my page, Baking with Sharon. Please like and share. Again, I'm trying to establish another avenue where you can go out to watch the videos and also to get the recipes for the different bakings that we have chosen to demonstrate. Next week, we will be baking macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese, another one of my favorites. And also, we're going to do collard greens with a twist. Collard greens with a twist. And I will have two guests on next week, Kiana and Destiny, who also helped me so graciously at the fair. This weekend, we were raising money for the Georgia Watch Charity Foundation. They helped solicit donations. They did an awesome job, and they will be my guests on next week. So let me see if I have any questions before I log off. Let's see. I don't see any right away. Hi, Deidre. Hi, Winnie. Hi, Japiria. Hi, Donna. Hi, Verna. I said I currently don't see any questions. Lee asked if he could substitute strawberries for the cherry pie filling. Sure, give it a try. Let me know how it tastes. I have not tried the strawberry filling before, but let me know how it tastes. And I have heard from others who have made the banana pudding. They said it tasted really great. And I also did have one question on, I think it was on the cookies. The cookies did not rise as much. Make sure that if you're using all-purpose flour, that you add the baking soda and the salt. I always use the self-rising flour that has all the already incorporated into it. So give it another try, and if you still continue to have problems with the cookies not rising, just inbox me, let me know, and I will try and answer your question. Let's see if there's more. Hi, Desiree. Peaches. Donna, I know that some people have made it with peaches, and this is another shortcut you could probably use for making a peach cobbler. So the peaches would be great as well. I know there's some people who have used this format to make peach cobbler. So give it a try and let me know. Okay, somebody said blueberries are good as well. Valerie says blueberries are good as well. So just try it with different fruits. Maybe some of the apple pie filling. That would probably be great as well. So just be creative. Be you. Get in the kitchen and do you. So thank you all for joining. And I will post again after the banana nut bread has finished baking, and also the dump cake. I'll post pictures and I'll post a video of those different items coming out of the oven. Thank you all so much again for joining. Hi, Kathy. And I hope you all have a great week, and God bless. Don't forget to vote.